Year 2137. The sky had long since become the new battlefield. Beneath a bruised purple twilight sky, the jagged edges of Skyfall Ridge pierced through the clouds like the bones of a broken world. There was no more war over land. It had all turned to ash. Now, nations fought for the skies, for control over the weather satellites that could birth rain or summon drought, tip economies or break nations. Above it all flew Falcon Squadron, stationed at the precarious outpost Vega, defending what was left of the Helix coalition. At the helm was Captain Kael Draven, a man made of silence and shadows. His face was sharp, carved more by grief than time. 2 years ago he had given an order that cost his younger brother Ryan's life, a decision that haunted his every breath. Kyle stood at the hangar's edge, staring out at the horizon as the storm front pulsed with electric veins. "Weather spikes coming in fast," came a voice behind him. It was Lieutenant Sora Venn, the youngest pilot in Falcon Squadron, and perhaps the most reckless. She wore her flame-red flight suit like armor, her eyes always scanning the clouds like she expected to find something, or someone, waiting in them. Sora had reason to be vengeful. Her hometown had been turned to salt and glass by a Crimson Union weather strike. She flew the X-93 Wraith, an experimental stealth craft with a neural-linked targeting system and chameleon skin. It responded to her emotions almost as quickly as her commands. "Orders?" she asked, a twitch of eagerness betraying her calm. Kael didn't answer. Not yet. The briefing room flickered with holographic static. Corporal Zeke Harrow, the squadron's rookie drone commander, fiddled nervously with his gloves. His drones, hundreds of them, floated outside like a restless swarm, synced to his neural deck. "Intercepted signal. Fragmented," he said, voice cracking. "They're calling it Project Tempest." Sora leaned in. "Another weather satellite?" "Worse," said Sergeant Juno Briggs, the hangar chief. A scarred veteran with a mouth like a buzzsaw, Briggs didn't mince words. "They're building a storm shield generator. If they launch it into the atmosphere, we can't touch them. They'll strike from inside their own storm, invisible, invincible." At the center of it all was the Tempest Arc, a flying fortress buried inside the most volatile weather zone on Earth, the Tempest Range. Kael stared at the 3D projection, his brow furrowing as a new audio clip played, distorted, barely decipherable. "This is Ghostblade. Target acquisition complete." Sora froze. That voice, Kael shut it off, his jaw tightened. "No confirmation, we move in at dawn." But the voice echoed in his skull. It was Ryan. It had to be. Dawn broke like a blade. Falcon Squadron launched from Vega, 5 ships slicing the sky like silver daggers. As they soared over Tempest Range, the clouds warped and twisted unnaturally. Static danced across their cockpits. Suddenly, blips on radar. Faint. Then gone. "They're here," whispered Sora. The JX-900 Phantom interceptors didn't show up until they were breathing down their necks. Their hulls were storm-coated, soundless, nearly invisible. Sora peeled away from formation, diving into the cloud bank. "Break formation," Kyle barked. "Re-engage at Echo Point." But Sora didn't hear him. Her neural link had latched onto a silhouette, a phantom with twin scarlet fins. She gave chase, corkscrewing through lightning-lit clouds. Then, over the comms, a voice she hadn't heard in 2 years. "You shouldn't be here, Sora." Her blood ran cold. "Ryan." The phantom flipped backwards through a gust current and vanished. She returned to base with her engines sputtering, her canopy scorched with static burns. "It was him," she said. "Kael, your brother's alive." Kael said nothing, but in The hangar lights. His hands trembled. The storm shield was nearing completion. They had one chance: destroy the Tempest Arc before it deployed fully. The plan: Sora would use the Wraith to disable the shield with a targeted EMP burst. Zeke's drones would form a perimeter strike wall. Kael would confront Ghostblade and buy them time. As the squadron launched, the sky turned molten. Bolts of lightning danced across black clouds like war drums. Rain fell sideways. Inside the storm, time stopped. Comms went dark. Instruments flickered. Sora locked onto the Ark's shadow. "I see it! Deploying EMP!" The Wraith released its burst. Electric blue veins exploded from her tail fins, sending a shockwave through the clouds. The shield flickered. Zeke's drones swarmed like hornets, barraging the Ark's defenses with coordinated fire. Explosions lit up the clouds. Then came Ghostblade. Kael broke off to intercept. The two danced through the storm. Kael in his razor-winged V7 Talon, Ghostblade in his whispering phantom. They looped, weaved, fired, each move a memory, each shot a word unsaid. Finally, Kael got behind him. "Ryan," he whispered. "Come home." He locked on, pulled the trigger, but hesitated. His missile fired wide, striking the wing. The Phantom spiraled, trailing smoke. The pilot ejected. Kael followed the pod, heart pounding. He reached it, but found it open. Empty. Only a black feather-shaped insignia remained. Ryan's mark. The Ark fell in fire, the storm dispersed. Vega cheered. But Kael stood alone at the edge of the hangar, staring into the morning light. Sora approached, bruised and limping. "You did the right thing," she said softly. "No," he replied. "I did the only thing." Briggs handed him a data chip, recovered from the pod. It contained flight logs and a code. Valkyrie Protocol. Initiate retrieval. The war wasn't over. Ryan, Ghostblade, wasn't a ghost. He was a weapon, and someone had pointed him at them. As the skies cleared and the wind settled into silence, one truth remained. Some wars aren't fought for victory. Some are fought for redemption, and some for the chance to fly side by side again.